Good evening and welcome to ICSD Education. This is Govinda Karmukar and today I am going to talk about interpersonal behavior. This topic is from psychology and this topic will be helpful for the aspirants of civil services like UPSc, CSC, WBCS or other exams, and the name of the topic is interpersonal behavior. So when you are good to others, you are best to yourself. When you are good to others, you are best to yourself. So this line is from Benjamin Franklin, an inspirational writer. This is a very well known sentence. Okay, so I am starting by this sentence to discuss about the topic interpersonal behavior. So to understand the nature of interpersonal behavior and skills relevant to cooperative interpersonal behavior, and to understand and improve the interpersonal behavior through transactional analysis, and also nature of interpersonal behavior, skills for cooperative interpersonal behavior, transactional analysis like levels of self-awareness, ego states, life skills, life position, transactions, stroking, psychological games, benefits and uses of TA. Okay, so the concept of interpersonal behavior, the individual dimension of organizational behavior, and this is from organizational behavior. As far as the organization is concerned, the behavior is concerned, organizational behavior, as the previous parts like psychological topics like personality, perception, learning, attitudes, values, emotional intelligence and motivation, shape and individual behavior, etc. So these dimensions are changed to a certain degree when the individual comes to contact with others in the organization where where he interacts. Number one to one basis. Number two, on to group basis. Number three, on group to one basis. Number four, on group to group basis. You can classify in this way. In each basis of interaction, the individual faces different types of situations. Therefore, how he affects the behavior of others and how his behavior is affected by others differ. Various interactive dimensions of organizational behavior are taken for the study in this part of the text. The present chapter takes interpersonal behaviors. Nature of interpersonal behavior. Now I am going to talk about nature of interpersonal behavior. Okay, people spend a large portion of their time in an organizational interacting with others. Once again, people spend a large portion of their time in an organization interacting with others. These interactions provide the connective tissues that help to hold the subparts of the organization together. While there are exceptions, in general, these interactions are paired relationships, that is, they are two-person contacts with superior, subordinate, co-worker or outsider. This dyadic relationship involves an interaction in which both may behave in a particular way, which may be either cooperative or conflicting. Thus, there may be earlier cooperative inspirational behavior or conflicting interpersonal behavior. Cooperative interpersonal behavior. So, the next part, cooperative interpersonal behavior. When the interaction between the two persons is mutually gratifying, it is cooperative behavior. In the case both persons are engaged in complementary transactions, in this process both persons get satisfied over the objectives of mutual interaction. In organizational setting, such behaviors are functional and lead to the achievement of organizational objectives and also provide satisfaction to the individuals at the same time. Now we are going to the next part, that is conflicting interpersonal behavior. Conflicting interpersonal behavior. Okay. Out of interpersonal interaction, it is not necessary that only cooperative behavior results, because of several reasons like personality differences, different value system, interest conflict, lack of interpersonal skills, and improper approach of mutual interaction. Conflicting interpersonal behavior may emerge. By and large, this type of behavior is dysfunctional to both organization and individuals. Therefore, attempts should be made to replace conflicting interpersonal behavior by cooperative interpersonal behavior. To a very great extent, this can be done by developing interpersonal skills and applying them judicially. Once again, to a very great extent, this can be done by developing interpersonal skills and applying them judiciously. Okay, now we are going to the next part, that is skills for cooperative interpersonal behavior. Skills for cooperative interpersonal behavior. So this is the headline. Since cooperative interpersonal behavior is functional both for the organization and the employees, managers should ensure that this type of behavior is adopted throughout the organization. They must motivate the employees to develop and use skills necessary for cooperative interpersonal behavior. Such skills are positive thinking, mutual trust, empathy, courtesy, and avoidance of ego problem. Since these are behavioral skills, they are relevant for any form of human interaction. Here, their relevance is discussed in the context of interpersonal interaction. Okay, now I am going to talk about step by step about the cooperative interpersonal behavior. Number one, positive thinking. So, positive thinking. Generally, a person with positive thinking looks for positive aspects in any person, any object, or even while a person with negative thinking looks for negative aspects in these. Positive aspects bring gratification and negative aspects bring frustration. This is true for interpersonal interaction too. When both the individuals mutually interact with positive thinking, may issues that lead to conflicting interpersonal behavior like clash of mutual interest, differences over tiny matters, etc. can be sorted out easily. When such matters are sorted out amicably between two individuals interacting among themselves, cooperative interpersonal behavior takes place. Okay, number 2, mutual trust. Two individuals interacting among themselves should have mutual trust. Trust is a two-way traffic, that is, one wants that others should trust them, others should trust him. He must also trust other. In the context of trust, there are two approaches. First approach says trust everyone unless evidence goes otherwise. Second approach says do not trust everyone unless evidence. While following the second approach brings negative aspect of their interaction. Okay, so um, repeating once again. First approach says trust everyone unless evidence goes otherwise. Second approach says do not trust everyone unless evidence goes otherwise. For following the first approach brings positive aspects in interpersonal interaction, while following the second approach brings negative aspects in this interaction. Mutual interaction becomes gratifying when negative things are substituted by positive thinkings. Mutual interaction becomes gratifying when negative things are substituted by positive thinkings. Number 3 is empathy. Empathy means understanding others' viewpoint from his own point of view. It is putting one's legs in others' shoes or projecting oneself into the viewpoint of other person. When empathy is practiced in interpersonal interaction, may of the false assumption on which a particular viewpoint is based are, are corrected and mutually of agreement is arrived at. This mutuality of agreement leads to cooperative interpersonal behavior. Number 4, courtesy. Courtesy means an act of civility and respect which is shown towards others. When two individuals interacting mutually adopt courtesy to each other, the environment of mutual interaction becomes quite positive, which leads to free expression of one's ideas and understanding of others' ideas in right perspective. When ideas are expressed and understood in right perspective, many of the misgivings that may lead to conflicting interpersonal behavior can be overcome easily. Okay, number 5, avoidance of ego problem. Emphasizing on one's ego is dysfunctional in any kind of human interaction. whether organizational or other. The term ego referred to the term ego referred here is in the form of personality feature and not in the form as used in transactional analysis. Ego means putting emphasis on oneself. An egoist thinks and speaks too much of himself or of things as they affect him. Such a person remains arrogant about his opinion and knowledge. This egoism has been called as ego-fed mental fever. Naturally, this becomes dysfunctional like a fever and tends to generate tension during interpersonal interaction. Therefore, it is desirable to overcome this problem by developing positive thinking based on reality. One can develop most of these skills by understanding and practicing practicing transactional analysis. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.